Hi, everyone. Harry here to talk about Elon Musk's outrage that federal courts can enjoin executive action in this country. So there have been something like 80 different lawsuits filed against sundry Trump executive orders. There's a few basic themes here, but certainly one of them is there's money that Congress has appropriated, meaning given a command. This is third grade stuff. Congress says, passes the bills, says where to spend things. The executive executes them, but not in Donald Trump's world. They want repeatedly to just shut the pipeline down and say, we don't want to do it. We want to revisit it, but they're not the legislature. And by the way, they have control of the legislature. They could do it that way if they wanted, but obviously the legislature prefers that the White House call the shots because they don't have to take political accountability that way. Anyway, so Musk, who is Doge? All of that hovers over all these questions, and the administration's doing a two-step in court and in the public eye. In the cabinet meeting, Musk is clearly number two, if not number one, and in the for the legal purposes, they've appointed a obscure woman to actually be the head of things and suggested he doesn't have much power, but he's certainly acting like a guy with a lot of power. So on Tuesday, there were three orders by different district courts issued pretty much back to back to back. And so one of them had to do with the U.S. aid, where they've turned off everything. And the judge has now said, at least pay, and I mean pronto, the things you already were obligated to pay. That's the one that's now in the Supreme Court. I'll talk about that in another tape. Another is the whole stream of funding and freezing of grants and loans, and a judge called that irrational, imprudent, and it could precipitate a nationwide crisis. So that also was blocked. And at around the same time, a third one was blocked involving the refugee ban. So this is really the way things work, especially when the administration is asserting such broad, lawless, really, executive power, ignoring Congress, and then this overlay of who the hell is Elon Musk, and what is Doge, and what are they doing, and does he have to be appointed? So anyway, he was totally irate at this, and he just basically threw a tantrum online. And here's what he wrote. What is the point of having democratic elections if unelected activist judges can override the clear will of the people? Well, that's no democracy at all. Where to start to take apart a sentence like this, right? The entire idea of the checks and balances, the entire point of having a judiciary, the entire point of Marbury versus Madison, the fountainhead of all Supreme Court jurisprudence, is when the executive oversteps its bounds, say here, in all the things they're impounding or all the power they're giving to an unelected, unaccountable, conflict-ridden, mini-me mystery guy. That's when the courts come in, and they are not the sort of suffered, but absolutely essential part of government to make sure that the executive follows the law, and the Congress as well. So this guy has all this power now, including he's reaching out to the different agencies, and it looks like he's going to try to double down and make employees all across the government justify their own jobs. Of course, what in the world does he know that he would be able to review whether people should be able to retain their jobs? That's why some 6 agencies pushed back and told their employees, don't sign this, don't send anything to them. We're the ones who'll decide whether you're doing a good job and whether you should stick around. So that's a sort of still tense situation. Trump tried to kind of jocularly dismiss it in the cabinet meeting, but it really is unresolved. But so Musk wants to be the guy who decides if everyone should stick around. Musk wants to be the guy who does all these really severe cutbacks, including certain agencies by 90%. Musk wants to be the guy who shuts down federal buildings. And when that happens, there will be courts there'll be suits, and then people step in. And he's just, in general, so ill-suited to his job. My hat's off to him. He had some really brilliant ideas that have added a lot to society. He deserves his riches, but he's got nothing, no qualifications, no experience, no temperament, no knowledge, no sort of self-restraint to be the guy who is mucking in every single garden here in every different agency and trying to tell them what to do. And what really drives it home is he's a guy who's completely ignorant of the constitutional system. If he can come out and rail against, any time they try to do something and a court enjoins it, that means they violated the will of the people. No, that probably means that the courts are trying to vindicate the law. So it's just such a sort of basic kind of third grade thing. Trump always has been either ignorant of it or unconcerned, but now the guy who seems to be calling the shots, talked the most besides Trump at the cabinet meeting, and is just going around making trouble everywhere, even as the administration says in court, oh no, he's just kind of an advisor, kind of has President Trump's ear, and he's just helping out a little. This guy has immense government-wide responsibility combined with immense ignorance about how government, individual agencies, and the Constitution is supposed to work. A recipe, of course, for disaster, not to mention unlawful status in the first place. Somehow this got to give. So, there's different actions to try to require more oversight of him or figure out who's who. There's now tension within the agencies toward him. And it's just a completely untenable situation. We don't know what his conflicts are. People in the executive branch have to file forms to reveal them. So we have a completely unaccountable tech titan running the show and seemingly having no idea what he's doing, but it's not stopping him. So the pushback has started both in the courts and within the agencies, and we'll see how far he can get. It'll depend, of course, on how much Trump continues to back him, as he has done this week. But I think the controversies involving Musk are very far from over. Talk to you later. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this video and other Talking Feds content, please take a second to like and subscribe. Talk to you later.